Guys, so we have a quick look at a Kelso row variation that I like to use, which is great for upper body posture and just generally keeping strong, healthy shoulders. So first of all, excuse the banging because there's construction work going down just sort of a couple houses down. So excuse that, and there might even be some shouting in a minute, but we do as best as we can. So first of all, just a quick note, obviously, those who've read Paul Kelso's book, because that's where the Kelso Shrug idea comes from, a guy called Paul Kelso, will know really there isn't any one single exercise. It's just basically you have to sort of choose a variation or adapt it to suit whatever your goal is at that particular time. So obviously most people film about a normal shrug, which is kind of putting your shoulders to your ears like this, which gets into these mid traps here. So I generally find people who've got poor posture, they're generally very overactive in this muscle because of the they're in a kind of a hunched posture all day, either working at a computer or looking at phones. So when I do a Kelso Shrug, what I'm actually trying to do is get into the muscles you tend not to use much of, and those are the ones in between your shoulder blades and at the base of your shoulder blades, what we call your trap 3 or your lower traps. So being able to hold, retract your scapula together around your rib cage and being able to hold a solid posture at the same time with those muscles. So my favourite to do that is what we call a dumbbell Kelso Shrug. My preference is to do it sort of stood up, slightly bent forward. So from here, shoulder width stance. So I'm just going to lean forward. So I'm going to pop my hips back, almost like I'm doing like an RDL. Back nice and straight. Keep a little bit of brace on. And my preference is to try and keep my head up slightly. And then from here, rather than like a big row coming right back here, because it's actually a modified shrug movement, all we do is we pull the shoulder blades together and we pinch like this. So I'm pinching my shoulder blades back and down. And down. I like to hold for sort of a second or two, really squeeze those muscles in and down. So it's quite a small movement. What I'm not doing is going and shrugging up through here. So I'm trying to use the muscles that I don't normally use enough of in between the shoulder blades, at the base of the shoulder blades. That's trap 3. So from here to here. So it's like pull my shoulders together and just kind of run my hands back just a tiny bit here. Tiny movement. So retract, squeeze. Retract, squeeze, like that. Now again, if you're doing it right, you sort of feel it, a little bit maybe in your lats, but definitely in between your shoulder blades and the bottom of the shoulder blades. So again, it's quite a small movement. So if I come a bit closer, give you a slightly different angle. So from here, so retract the shoulder blades and squeeze the hands in just a little bit at the bottom. So retract the shoulder blades, squeeze in a little bit at the bottom. Get right in between those shoulder blades and those trap 3s. Awesome exercise, great for shoulder health and shoulder strength. Just having healthy sort of movement in your scapulas around your rib cage. Again, fantastic for your posture. One of my favourites for sort of long-term posture development. But also if you're into sort of hypertrophy and muscle size, that's a good way to kind of fill in those spaces in between your shoulder blades and give yourself a nice sort of 3-dimensional upper back. Yeah, great exercise, underrated. Give them a go.